Today, my guest is Karissa Adkins. She wants to inspire and impact more lives by promoting her story and the current competition that she is in now. Topics of discussion is her story from hotness to Bossbabe. She is competing for the title of Miss Health and Fitness 2021. Also, she has her own podcast called Bossbabe Radio. Please give a warm welcome to ever-blessed Karissa Adkins. Well, hello, Karissa. Soon to be a celebrity here in the making, of course. You are the celebrity in the making.
Yes. Well, I love the fact that you're helping me manifest this stuff. So it's all good.
And yeah, I did. I voted today. You're second place.
Yay. I did. My first 2 days, I'm not going to lie, I was like checking every hour. I'm like, this is not healthy. Like,
That's what I was doing for you. I was like, I wonder if she's like closer. And it's like, I get all excited for people. Like, I hope she does it. I hope she, I mean, I like rooting for everybody. Everybody needs that type of encouragement. So
it's a good cause. That's for sure. So you can buy a warrior vote, and you're like a minimum. It has to be like $10 minimum. But all of that money goes to the Wounded Warrior Project. So it's building houses for disabled vets. So, I mean, my husband is active duty. So I'm like, it's a great cause. So, I mean, he's even put money towards it. But at the end of round one, they'll have their top 15 competitors from each group. So I can't even see all the other competitors. I only see the women in my group. And so they take top 15 from each group, and then we go into a challenge. They wipe all the votes clean, and then everyone has to now re-get people to vote. And then they go, and then every week it's top 15, top 10, top 5. And then the whole thing, they'll announce their winner on August 5th. So it's a 6-week long process. And
holy cow.
Yeah.
That's like, that's 6 weeks of nail biting, 6 weeks of nail bite. It's like, you'll be nubs by the time everything gets to the 5th week.
Oh, goodness. Yeah. That's why I was like, I can't be looking at this stuff every single day because draining my energy when I'm like, oh, I'm still on second.
Yeah. I mean, you'll have less hair and less nails.
Yeah.
So
I did it, but I was stressed out.
Like, here I am. Get a bloodshot eye and, so I get it. You need that. We all need that energy. We all need that like support. So
we do. That's for sure.
That's awesome. I notice you have tats like me.
Yeah, I have a lot actually. Yeah.
I was looking at the photos too. I'm like, oh, there's my tat girl, my tat sis right there. I got a sis that's got tatted up, just like she's got goals. Hashtag tat goals.
Well, and this one's like a big meaningful one because I was in corporate world for a long time. And of course that was like not allowed. I mean, I remember getting like a baby, it's faith, and the owners were like, oh, that's not very professional. You're our marketing, rep, like, no more. And I'm like, what? How are the guys able to have fully tats and I can't? And so when the week that I left corporate and pursued my passion as a coach, I scheduled my arm tattoo. And so I was like, do I wait until after I win the competition and I'm on the cover? And I was like, just screw it, just start the process. So,
just do it.
Like maybe by the cover, the intent would be a full sleeve. But
my gosh. Yeah. I was thinking about like a 3/4 sleeve, kind of like right up to here, right where the tat ends or here. Yeah. So, but I was like, because I was an accountant for 15 years and then like, even before that, I was an administrative assistant. So I was the face of the company. Yeah, that would have not gone very well if that was me all like, got it all here. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So it is so nice to meet you. I'll go ahead and ask the questions. Do you have any favorite stories from your childhood?
I'll be honest with you, Jasmine. I actually don't have a ton of great memories from my childhood. I have a ton of what I like to just call childhood trauma, like a lot of people out there. I'm no different, but there was a lot of moments of fearing for my life. I grew up with a brother who's very bipolar, schizophrenic, and so there was a lot of mental health issues going on. So honestly, if I couldn't escape that home, like when I did, it was for gymnastics and it was to go hang out at my mom's shop. I grew up in the back of, of her bridal shop. And I love that moment. So when I heard about that question, I was like, you know what? I really want to talk about growing up in the back of a shop, watching my mom, do her thing, love her thing, be a total boss babe, and show up for her family and work hard. And I feel like I learned so much. My work ethic really does come from watching my mom make every dollar that she ever made, my mom and dad. But yeah, so I would say to keep things on the lighter side, I really loved growing up in the back of my mom's bridal shop. And it's kind of a funny story here. I would, we get so used to hearing like our parents or whoever answer the phone, And so I can remember as like a 7-year-old, 8-year-old, I could answer the phone and people would be like, oh, hey, Glenda. And I'm like, actually, it's Karissa. Let me get my mom. And they would never even know. And like, you could just start to mimic their voices. And now to this day, my daughter will make fun of me. And she says, Mom, put your coaching voice away. Nobody wants to hear. So it's just like, it's all these cool things that you learn. But yeah, I could answer the phone and I'd be, or my mom would answer the phone. They'd be like, yeah, we've been working with Karissa, and so we would really like to talk to her. And she would say, oh, let me go get her. She's coloring in the back. And they would have no idea that they were talking to a 7 or 8 or 9-year-old. So that's kind of a cool story.
That is so cute. Oh my God.
Yeah.
In the 80s and 90s when we had phones that were connected to the wall, not that many people will remember that, but answering a phone like so-and-so residence and, you have the voicemail, the pressed button voicemail. It looks like a big old recording box when they used for like investigating at the FBI agency.
Yeah.
Hello, you've reached so-and-so and so. And they go, hello, hello, hello. Everybody's got to do like the little thing or some jingle that they created. So wearing all the same T-shirts with their names.
Yep, this is what it was. It was literally Floral Originals and Bridal. Crazy, but I learned a lot from watching my mom and dad work. That's for sure.
Yeah. Growing up is pretty interesting. I have some stories, unfortunately, that are not my favorite, right along with you.
Mm-hmm. In a weird way, we can thank our mamas for either not being in our lives as much or for being in our lives.
Mm-hmm. Who are the 3 people who have been the most influential to you?
I really like this question. I get it a lot. And I think certain areas of my life, times in my life, it's been different. But there has been one person that has been super, super consistent. So the first one, I think the biggest one, as I mentioned, my mom, right? She was my best friend. She was my biggest teacher. I feel like she teaches me lessons even when she's no longer around. She passed away in 2011. And so my mom, she was my biggest teacher. Yes. A great mentor. She taught me how to love and how to forgive and how to be a good mom. Cause I was a mom at 15. And so it took my mom to show me what a mom would look like. I didn't just kind of learn that on my own with my own family. I had to learn that with my mom. But I think my mom is the most influential because I used to weigh 213 pounds and I absolutely hated my body. I hated my life. My relationship to food and fitness was terrible. And I was following in the exact footsteps as my mom. And she is the reason I had kind of 2 epiphanies. I was in a doctor's office when the doctor gave me some hard to hear truth about my body and about my lifestyle, which really hurt and I was embarrassed by. But it wasn't until the very next day. And I looked at a picture of my mom. I was stationed in Germany at the time. I looked at a picture of my mom and I saw myself in her, right? I saw 320 pounds. I saw diabetes. I saw cancer. I saw the quality of her life. And I was like, I want more for myself. I want more than what my mom has built for her. And she has a great business and all these amazing things, but she's so unhealthy. And I believe that, her weight is what caused all those other diseases to kind of creep in and take over her body. But she's my why, and still to this day, it's 11 years later. If I don't feel like getting up in the morning and going working out, if I don't feel like doing a lot of the stuff that I, like that keeps me super healthy, super fit, I just think about my mom. I think about, God, Karissa, you know what it's like to hate your body. You know what it's like to lose a mom. And I want more for my kids. I want to be around for my kids. So I always think about my mom. So that was probably the number one, influential person. My second one's my current partner, my husband. I was married for 15 years and I thought I had a really great relationship until the last 5 or 6 years of that, and really realized what I had was a husband, and yes, he loved me and he supported me. But the difference between my husband now and, my ex was that my husband now challenges me and he pushes me to be a better version of me. He doesn't let me settle, which if you're married, like this can make it for some interesting conversations. Don't get me wrong. When your hubby says and reminds you of all your accountability stuff and the things that you don't want to do. And at first you're like, ugh, but then you appreciate that. I'm like, thank you. Right. You have the best interests. Like when he wants to see me succeed more than I want to, sometimes I know I've got a great partner. He literally pushes me and inspires me into his own mindset because he's active duty Air Force. And he's just so strong-minded and so focused. I remember my first conversation with him. I'm like, did I find the male version of me? Like, what the heck? Like we say that all the time, even though we're totally different individuals, yet we're very similar when it comes to mindset and discipline and consistency and health and things like that. So he's the second person. And then my daughter, I think, and it goes back to my why, is I want to show her what a strong mama looks like. I want to show her what it means to follow your heart, no matter what other people think about it. Like leaving corporate job, getting a divorce, all of these things were done just a couple of years ago. And I've gotten to show my daughter what that looks like and how I can come out on top and how I can be a strong woman through some of life's biggest challenges. So she's really she influences me still. I feel like everything that she does, she's so proud of me, but yet I'm so proud of her because I can see as a coach, as a mom, as a wife, I'm teaching her so many cool things. And so those would be the three most influential people in my life today.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I love the depth in the stories of each person. And then especially your daughter, in being at 15 as a mother. Yeah, I was 18. I got pregnant at 17 and was also in high school as well. So that was an interesting, that was so interesting. But here I am, because now I have a 25-year-old and it's crazy because everybody thinks that we're a brother and sister. So I'm like, yeah, I'm 43. Yeah, it doesn't look like it, but here we are.
Yes, all the struggles of being a teen mom. And now, my son's 20. He'll be 21 this year. And, he's a foot taller than me. We go out and people are like, is that your older sister? And he's like, no, it's my mom. And but yeah, really, it's a 15-year difference. And that's not a lot, so.
No, it's not. I was just thinking about that. He had moments when he was in middle school and I would come and pick him up after school, and his friends were like, dude, your sister is hot. He's like, dude, that's my mom. What the heck? I used to get that all the time. They're like, and then when they find out that I'm his mom, they're like, hi, miss, hi, mom. I'm like, you guys are so robbing the cradle here, y'all. Come on now.
Yep. I would love when he would have a sleepover and I would arm wrestle his friends because I would whoop their. So they'd be like, "Your mom can't," and I think that they thought it was fun, but I'm like, no, I'm here to show you that a girl can whoop your butt. Mm-hmm. So I would do that and take it over, and I'm like, next, So we
had like, boom,
yeah.
What you gonna do about it? Yeah. But there's some guys that they like to be with a strong woman. Mm-hmm. Men like to be with strong women, and I think that's as your husband challenging you, like you said, that's amazing. Yeah. It's like a diamond in the rough when it comes to relationships like that. It's so I am so happy
to be able to take that kind of feedback. Like it's really, I'm like, I learn from him daily, even though I don't listen all the time, but he's like, do you ever listen to me? I'm like, oh yeah, but it's coming in because the next day I'll like find myself repeating something like super great. I'm like, oh my God, that's great. Plus he's a certified nutritionist along with being active duty. So he helps in my business as well. So yeah, we do all fun things together at the end of the day. And it's cool. It's cool to have found a teammate for life instead of just a husband who, just there is to love you. And yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you need someone who's going to be there once the mind goes, once the beauty appearance has dissolved, and you just have someone just to hold your hand or be in the rocking chair next to you as watching the sunset. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. So how would you like to be remembered?
I love this question, first off, because I think that so many of the clients I work with, they don't think about that. They don't want to think about that. And maybe I think about it all the time because I did lose my mom at such a young age. So, I have been told by so many people about what an amazing mom I had, yet I don't have her here because she didn't take care of herself. So, like all these different things, but I think I would want to be remembered. I love words. I don't know if people can see me, but one day my arm will be full of words. Just words are powerful. They become thoughts and reality and, and life. But I think if I had to kind of put it into words first, it would be like health, right? Like that girl was healthy, not always healthy, but for people to remember me, be like, she was healthy. She was the hardest worker I know. She was real, which is hard to find these days as real people, if you know what I mean. I'm a no BS kind of gal. So I call it when I see it. And I'm like, and the older I get, Jasmine, the less I can show it's hard for me to even show sympathy towards stuff anymore. I'm like, I don't care. Life's too short, but I really want to be able to leave a legacy behind. And I want to be remembered for helping women. It's my mission. It's my purpose in life. It's what I feel that, I've been put on this earth to do, is to go through some of the worst pains and struggles that you can go through and to come out on top. So to be able to teach women how to overcome their own life struggles is really what I want to be remembered by. I want people to be like, holy crap, like Karissa, there was nothing she couldn't do if she put her mind to it. And she made it her point to help so many people.
Right.
So many become the better versions of themselves. I think that would be really cool if that's what they were saying about me when I passed.
So you become Hotmess to Bossbabe. That's how that's how you throw it down, girl.
I was a hot mess.
Yeah, I have and it's I'm so glad that I was able to talk with you today because I have struggled. I think it was my own secret battle, or it was just I'm an introvert too, which is kind of weird. Hello. But you have to kind of get in the mindset to be, you're an introvert in an extrovert world. And I was a hot mess. I was almost 280 pounds.
Wow.
And I lost 107 pounds in 2 years. I know. So right now I'm like I was 175 when I think I ended at, and that was pretty close to where my marathon running weight. So before I gained all this weight, I was a marathon runner.
Wow.
So
that's crazy.
So just a thought of going from that, and it has a lot to do with the type of place I was in. I thought this was going to be the match made, done deal husband that I had for, I think, almost 6.5 years. And it was the ride from hell. A lot of depression, a lot of physical, emotional. It was horrible. The story that you have about your life and your journey, it's amazing. A lot of people like you've known who have gone through it. And unfortunately, I had to go through it alone. And it's not cool. No. You don't have anybody to bounce off your ideas. To have a cheerleader in your background say, you can do it, just one more push-up, just one more lap, or just whatever the situation is that you need that. And unfortunately, Not everybody gets that. So I'm so rooting for you, girl, no matter where it is, if it's from voting online, if it's just talking with you or just staying in connection with you through Facebook. We're going to be tat sis. That's all. We're going to be tat sisters, and that's a done deal. Now, the question is, do you have any regrets?
None. I can honestly tell you that. And there's so many that and they all start with, I wish I could go. And I'm like, no, I actually don't. So I do believe that everything that I've gone through between, doing terrible things as a child to, making poor decisions as a teen and staying in, toxic relationships, all of those things, I really do believe that they've built such resiliency. And if I could name a superpower, that is a superpower I would have, is this ability to bounce back after every freaking setback. And it's only made me stronger. And that was the easiest question for me when I looked at it. I'm like, oh gosh, no, I have none, right? Like if I had regrets, it'd be like, I wish I spent more time with my mom. But those are things that, you don't know in that moment. But yeah, I would never take back the crappy relationships that I call them the sandwiches, I wouldn't take any of it back because I needed that to become the woman that I am today. I can look back and really appreciate all the decisions, the good, the bad, and the uglies, and be like, okay, cool. I'm going to learn from all of that. And I can't wait for this Karissa that you see today to teach the future Karissa all sorts of new, wisdoms and advice and stuff. So absolutely zero regrets.
That's what I was going to say. If anyone asked me this question, I'd be like, nope, next question. All right, cool. And where can our listeners connect with you online?
Yeah. So the best place is my website. It's really, I like to call and think of it as my storyboard. That's 365dailyhustle.com. And check out my blogs, my coaching packages. You can even vote for me daily off that website. Everything is there, of course. If you're looking for a positive influence in your life, you can always, friend request me. I accept you unless you're a creeper or you're someone trying to get my business. But yeah, I literally will ask people, I'm like, can I ask why you friend requested me? And she'll be like, honestly, someone told me that I needed to have you in my life every single day. I need positivity in my life. I literally have zero anything for BS. If you're negative, you're off. Literally surround myself with amazing people. So
you go, girl.
Yeah. Thank you. That's a lot of boundaries you have to do.
Yeah. It took me a long time to do that. I can learn a lot from you too, because I'm still working on it. Yeah. I need to have a BS deflector shield,
Yes, girl. I love that. I'm going to keep that one. BS reflect. It truly is. I'm like, no. And that was hard to do in the corporate world. I remember my boss would ask, he's like, hey, Karissa, could you make sure you do this? I'd be like, first off, I'm like, when do you need it by? And he's like yesterday. I'm like, cool, I'll do it tomorrow. Right? And most people wouldn't do that to they wouldn't say that. They wouldn't have the balls to say that to their boss. But I'm like, no, you hired me to do X, Y, and Z. And part of that is knowing when to say no and saying, I'll get to it, but I'm either going to do this for you or this is going to get done, but they're not both getting done today. And you just have to kind of stand your ground. I'm not going to just be walked all over. That's for sure.
Yeah. We need some more sisters like you. It's just we need to arm in arm, be like, deflectors, BS, heck no, BS, heck no.
Yes. No, it literally all stems from becoming a better version of me. It really does. Had someone said that 10 years ago, I'd be like, sure, I'll cover your shift. Right?
Yes.
Sure, I'll work the crappy section. And I just played small. And now I'm like, no, I'm not about that. And that, we go back to my partner, my husband. That's sexy when you can find a woman that's strong, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. I can walk into a room and that energy, that presence is mine and I own it. And it's because I just have so much self-confidence in me. So I think that's a big key is, work on that confidence every single day.
Can you tell me more about, so you said that you are competing for the title of Miss Health and Fitness 2021. Tell me more, girl.
Yeah, well, about 12 weeks ago on Facebook, I'm scrolling through and I see a message come up. It's marketing at its brilliant, right? So I've clearly checked all the boxes and they served me an ad and it said, you could be the next Miss Health and Fitness 2021. And I was like, shut up, not me, And so I quickly click on the link and I look at, the qualifications. Are you a woman? Check. Are you a woman who is dedicated to health and fitness? Check, right? Like I checked all these things. I'm like, that is me. Like I can totally do this. And for a split second, I was like, nah, I'm not a competitor. Like I'm just a boss babe trying to teach other women how to be the best self. And, I'm just doing my thing. And I'm like, no, screw that, Karissa. You are this woman. So I filled out the application. I gave them my before and after picture. I told them my story. And really it wasn't a before and after. It's like a lot of my competitors, they're all fitness pros. Like they've probably never been over 200 pounds in their life.
Mm-hmm.
I don't say that for all of them, but that is the story I submitted, is that I know what it's like to feel blah and broken. And I know what it's like to feel like a total queen, right? Rocking the world. So I submitted this and then I just forgot all about it. And 6 weeks later, I get a text at 5:30 in the morning. I'll never forget. I was downstairs shaking up my pre-workout for the gym. I get a text that says, you're in it, girl. Congrats. Get ready to play big time. Like blah, 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 blah. I screamed. I ran up the stairs. I, of course, shared that experience with my partner. I'm like, babe, I'm in it. And then, of course, every week has just been like, prepare. But the cool thing is I'm in this competition. And the competition really is to be on the cover of Muscle and Fitness Hers magazine, to claim the title of Miss Health and Fitness 2021, to be featured in this article, right? And then to earn 20K. And I'm like, yeah, this is going to be so awesome. I'm like, I love this. This is what I stand for. And then I realized, I was like, it's actually not about me at all. It's about the people that I can impact. And I always have to go back to that because that is my why. And I'm like, what would it mean to me if I did win? It would mean I can support a local nonprofit that I hold very near and dear to my heart. They're called Fit Girl Inc. They're out of Omaha, Nebraska. I'll be able to sponsor a woman who can't afford my coaching packages that I would really, really want, to help them shed the weight. And I would be able to inspire millions, like on a global level. Like every woman who picks up that article can read. And if they can read, then they can understand that no matter where they're at in their life, they can boss up to the next level of awesomeness. And that is what's important to me. So that's why I want to win. And literally is all based on voting. It's easy to do. You can seriously vote daily for me for free, or you can click the Warrior button and, you can purchase votes. That all that money then goes to the Wounded Warrior Project. So there's like wins all over the place. But yeah, that's the competition I'm in. That's the journey. And had you asked me 11 years ago, Karissa, would you ever consider yourself to be fit enough to be on the cover of this magazine? I'd be like, heck no, right? Like that ain't me. Like I'm fat and I hate myself. Like, no way. And like I said, that's not the woman that you're interviewing today. Like you have got a boss babe on the way up to the success.
I know. High five, virtual. Fist bump.
Yeah.
How long is your voting to get you in that door?
Okay. So the voting started back on June 14th. And I have to make it through 6 rounds. So every round gets me further into the competition, like top 15, top 10, top 5. And then, then they crown the winner on August 5th. So literally your vote, whoever is listening, just a 10 seconds of your time can help inspire thousands. Like you can literally be a part of this story. And that's really cool to be able to be a part of someone else's success story and to know that it literally was like 10 seconds of your time every single day. So if and when, it comes down to it and you hear this and you're like, yes, I love supporting other women, that are rocking the world, just doing their best, then please vote for me every single day, 10 seconds of your life.
Yes.
I think the best advice that I would leave, it's been a key to my success over the last 5 or 6 years, would be to listen to your heart. The world can get really noisy and full of BS, and it's so easy to try and want to fit into everything else that we just put ourselves on the back burner, our own needs and our loves and our wants and our desires. So, everything that I've done, I'm like, okay, I'm going to turn down the volume and ask myself what I want, what's going to make me happy. And when I do, the minute my gut and my brain tell me one thing, that's my answer. So now it's my responsibility. It's your responsibility. Once you turn down the noise and you listen to your heart and you ask yourself what you want, what makes you happy, what makes you thrive, right? It's your then job to step up, to boss up, and to show up for your best life. And part of that is taking ownership. If you are in a place of stuckness, take some ownership. Say, I don't have to be living here anymore, and I can boss up. So, just that choice is yours, and it's yours alone. And I think the second thing that I would leave you with, and normally I wouldn't, but because you had mentioned it, the world can be super lonely, and we don't always have cheerleaders in our back pocket, right? We don't always have a support team or a tribe or a loving family behind us, but you do always have yourself. You really do. I am my biggest cheerleader. I mean, there are days that nobody's there encouraging me on. There are days in my business that I'm like, oh, why am I doing all this work?
Mm-hmm.
There are days in the gym that I'm like, I don't want to do one more rep. And that identity has to shift, and it has to say, Karissa, you need to do it for you. I am my own cheerleader. So you can be your own cheerleader too. Y'all are never, ever alone. So that's all I would leave you with today.
Cool. So again, I wanted to thank you, Karissa. You have a wonderful weekend. Thank you so much.
Yes, you too. Thank you again.
Again, my name is Jasmine, also known as DJ Jim Jam. Thank you so much for enjoying my podcast. If you're wanting to be promoted for the next podcast that I have, I am also a voiceover artist. That website is jasminecastillovoice.com. Thank you for listening, and please stay tuned for the next upcoming episode